I started to use AI to just make more progress in my gardening because I started my garden in my new property 6 months ago, and I have a lot of challenges here in Florida. We always have a lot of challenges, and I have specific goal because I want to have low maintenance garden, which means I don't need to go every single day and do something. I don't have that luxury to do maintenance every single day. So I decided to use AI to see how can I get better results with tomatoes, because I want to find out which variety should I plant. Maybe I'm missing something in specific Florida climate. And I was chatting, and it was taking forever. Unfortunately, any AI is not really smart enough. Yes, it can pinpoint some issues, possible issues in your garden, but it was keep going in circles, and I was already losing my patience, because it was already like taking 2 hours. 2 hours, that's like, what? It shouldn't be that long, right? It should give you answers. But it didn't. And unfortunately, even I'm chatting quite often. It's supposed to be doing much better because it's already trained. It knows what I want, but it still cannot. It still cannot replace a gardening expert in anyone who has a lot of experience. That's really unfortunate. So if you use AI, be careful. It can give you really wrong advice. It was giving me, like, I was thinking, why did you give me that one? Because of that one? He said, yes, but no, come on, I don't want that one. You should give me like true information, not what I want to hear. If I want to hear that one, what's the purpose? No. So it was very, very annoying. But in any case, after like chatting for 5 hours, I finally created a guide for tomato plants. So go and check it. Unfortunately, tomato plants is very difficult to grow here in Florida. I wanted to grow them year-round because, yes, I have frost. I'm not in frost-free environment, but it's not so hard to protect your plants, tomato plants, protecting from frost. And hard freeze, actually, it's not that hard as one might think, because my tomatoes survive at 20 Fahrenheit on a soil level. And placing your thermometer on soil level very important, because your tomato plant is growing from soil. It doesn't matter what will be temperature 1-2 feet height from your soil, because that hard freeze will kill on that ground level. It did survive. Unfortunately, that tomato actually was going to second year. Unfortunately, we had such unpredictable weather, and when forecast was only 40 Fahrenheit, that one night it went to freezing. It was 31 or 32. And unfortunately, it killed my tomato plant. I didn't cover that specific night. I just didn't use that settings. There is alarm settings on any station. I bought station with 3 sensors. There is alarm. I don't use that because I will wake up my child. I don't want to do that, obviously, in the middle of the night. And that's the only issue. You cannot rely on forecasts. We learned that hard way here in Florida. A lot of people lost their plants. But I still have plants in my another location, because that another location does not go very low in terms of temperature. I have one spot in my backyard which goes very, very low. When the forecast is 40 Fahrenheit, I might get freeze on soil level on that specific place. And usually what I do right now, I learned that if by 10 p.m. I see on my sensor 38 Most likely I will have frost on soil level, but in your specific environment it can be different. Tomato plants will have other issues because of our rainy season during summertime. Besides the fact you have too much rain, too much diseases, and high temperature, most tomatoes will not set fruit during, usually they don't set fruit starting June in Florida because night temperature goes too high and it doesn't set any fruit because night temperature 80 and above will not make your tomato plant setting any fruit. But it's fine with me as long as my plant still alive and my fruit which already set before will be ripening. But unfortunately then with rain we have cracking issue, we need crack resistant varieties, and then we need two resistant varieties for root rots and for leaves. So we have like huge problem. And yes, there are modern varieties which actually can set fruit during high temperature. But after watching one video, one guy tested all these varieties. He said they are bland, they don't taste very good. I don't think so you want to grow them. So I selected varieties which actually will have kind of taste. It might not be like base tasting tomatoes, but at least they will be alive during summertime. They won't be dead too fast. They're crack resistant, disease resistant. And I hope you will enjoy taste of them. So go and check my guide. It's free for now. I do a lot of research for myself, and I cannot guarantee that any guide from me is going to be in the future will be free. There is no guarantee, so it's free right now. And I might not do any guides at all because that's a work for me. So let me know what is your common issue with tomatoes. Yes, I want to grow them for several years, like 2-3 years, and then replace my tomato with something else. But by achieving that goal, at least I will not have to start seeds for tomato and wait them, because from starting seeds until you get your first tomato is going to be like almost 4 months. That's a lot, and I need to provide care for that plant, which is not really my goal. But once I have that tomato plant alive, they will stop production for 3 months. So my tomato started production again in October. And I was having that tomato harvest in November. We had actually first frost in November. It was not affected. I actually was able to get that fruit. I got lucky because they projected 36, and I learned 36 in my area actually means frost on ground level. And I forgot to add, keep in mind that forecast temperature means they project temperature on a 6 foot height from ground level, which useless for us, for gardeners, because it doesn't matter what the temperature on 6 feet high. I care about what temperature will be on my soil level. So you don't have a choice how to buy with the station. Have at least 3 sensors, see what's the temperature. Once you know the difference, for me it's minimum 8 degrees, and I need to protect. I already have warm spot in my yard. I have medium, and I have very cold, and I might not plant a tomato on that cold area at all, because I will need dedicate a lot of effort and time to protect them in that specific area. So hope you enjoy the video.